What are the 3 most common seller mistakes that I see in this market today? Follow along and you'll find out next. Hi everyone, my name is Lance Poppy and I am the broker owner of Key Real Estate, and welcome back to my series Ask the Broker, where every Tuesday and Thursday I answer a common real estate related question that I get asked all the time. Before we get started today though, I wanted to remind everyone that if you are thinking of buying or selling, please give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I'd love to help you out and get you set up on a strategy that works for you. Now let's jump into the episode. Okay, one question that I feel I don't get asked enough is what are the common seller mistakes that I see when I'm working with sellers in this market? The reason why I feel like I don't get asked that enough is I feel like if sellers are asking that question, they would maybe be able to learn from those mistakes, maybe not commit them themselves to give themselves a smoother experience through selling their house. But I am going to go through 3 of the major mistakes that I do see sellers making in this market today, and what you can do to, if you are thinking of selling your house, what you can do to work around those to make sure you're having a comfortable experience while selling your home. First is going to be pricing. Pricing is usually the biggest issue when it comes to selling a house. The market can be fluctuating depending on what's going on in your area, so that number on what you can sell your house for fluctuates as well. So one mistake that I see sellers making in the real estate market when they're going to sell their house is overpricing their house. So imagine you're living in a house, you get emotionally attached in the house, maybe you've raised your family in that house, maybe it was the first house you ever bought, so you do become emotionally attached to that house. Speaking with being emotionally attached to that house, it's very normal to place a higher value on that house because of that emotional value. So what I try to tell my sellers when we're getting ready to list a house is we have to try and take all of the emotion out of it. The reason why we want to take that emotion out of it is because unfortunately the people coming in to buy the house do not hold that same emotional value that you hold to the house. So they're not going to be adding that extra dollar sign on there because of your emotions to the house. So we want to try and take as many of those emotions out as possible. I know it's tough, but we have to be able to take those emotions out to make sure that we're setting the price correct for the house. Another thing I see sellers doing in regards to pricing is when they are interviewing multiple agents or multiple realtors to list their house, unfortunately sometimes they are told a strategy that might not be the best strategy, and that would be to price your house very, very high in order for that realtor to be able to gain that listing. So if you are thinking of selling your house and you are interviewing multiple agents for the job, make sure you're not just choosing the agent that's giving you the highest price, but also make sure you're choosing the agent that is showing you why they are pricing the house where they think it should be priced, and also have them show you their marketing plan and their strategy for helping you get the home sold. Also with pricing, make sure you're not underpricing your house. That's especially relevant in today's market. So we're in the year 2022 as of the filming of this. Homes are selling for record prices right now as we sit here. So make sure that you're not shortchanging yourself. Make sure that you're doing your research. Make sure that the agent that you're hiring is doing their research to make sure that you guys are arriving at the perfect price for your house and you're not overpricing or underpricing. So doing your research to find that number instead of guessing at that number. The second mistake that I see sellers trying to make is that they are trying to hide major repairs. Now, this is not recommended on multiple different levels, but mostly speaking is when you are going to sell your house, you have to fill out what's called a real estate condition report. And in that condition report, you're asked a series of yes or no questions. And in those questions, you have to answer those to the best of your knowledge. So if you are deliberately leaving something out of that because you don't want the buyers to see that, or the buyers maybe wouldn't notice when they're doing a walkthrough or anything like that, you run the risk of potentially causing yourself some legal troubles if it is found out that you are deliberately leaving that off of the list. Another thing that you have to consider too is just because you're hiding or wanting to hide any repairs that need to be done to the house doesn't mean that they're not going to get caught through the process of after you accept an offer. So many times home inspectors are going through the house. A home inspector more than likely is going to catch anything that you're trying to hide, especially if it's a major repair. So honesty is the best policy here. If there is something that's going on with your house, make sure that you disclose it. Many times it's not as big of a deal as you think that it's going to be, or you can come together with your buyer of the house to make sure that you guys are working together to fix it, or there's many different options there, but one option is not to just hide it and not disclose it. Make sure you're being very honest and forthcoming with anything that's wrong with the house. Lastly, a big mistake that I see sellers making in today's market is they are not relying on professional photos when going to list their house. So we heard in an earlier video that I made that the online presence of the house is many times the first introduction to your house when you're going to sell it. So you want to show your house in the best light possible. And the best way to do that is hiring a professional photographer to take your listing photos because they know what angle to shoot your house in. They have the lenses to be able to shoot your house. They have the lighting to be able to make sure that you're presenting your house in the best way possible. Now, if you're listing with an agent, many times that agent is going to pay for that professional photographer. I know that I pay for all of my listings professional photography and videos, so that's not a cost to the seller. That's taken on by myself. But the reason why I do that is I want to make sure that any house that I'm listing, when it gets posted onto the internet and people are starting to make their first introduction with the house, they're seeing the house in its best light. So they're seeing the rooms lit up, they're seeing the sizes of the rooms, they're seeing all of the features and the amenities that you have in your house, and it's just a great first introduction for someone when they see those pictures and they see that it's professionally done. They're more than likely going to want to come and see the house in person, which means they're more than likely to put an offer in on the house. So I really want to stress that if you are listing your house, that you do rely on the professional photography to be done to make sure that your house is put in the best light possible, especially on the internet. As always, if you have any more questions about buying or selling a house, feel free to reach out to me. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I'd love to help you out in any way that I can.